And here is the Writer's Almanac for Monday, August the 5th, 2019. It's the birthday of the man who said, "Don't own so much clutter that you will be relieved to see your house catch fire." Wendell Barry, born in Henry County, Kentucky, 1934. He was the son of a lawyer and a tobacco farmer. Grew up in a county where his ancestors on both his mother's and father's side had been farming for 5 generations. He went off to college. He taught creative writing in the Bronx for a few years, but then he came back home, bought a 125-acre homestead near his parents' birthplace, where he still farms and writes poetry, novels, and essays. His 8 novels, including Jayber Crow and Hannah Coulter, together with his many short stories, form a saga of a little fictional Kentucky town called Port William. Wendell Barry, who said the past is our definition, we may strive with good reason to escape it or to escape what is bad in it, but we will escape it only by adding something better to it. He said, every day do something that won't compute. Give your approval to all you cannot understand. Ask the questions which have no answers. Put your faith in 2 inches of humus that will build under the trees every 1,000 years. Be joyful, though you have considered all the facts. It's the birthday of Conrad Aiken, born Savannah, 1889, who, in his autobiography Ushant, writes about the great trauma that befell him when he was 12. His parents were wealthy New Englanders. They'd moved south for his father's medical practice. The father, for whatever reason, became emotionally unstable and violent, and the boy woke one morning to the sound of gunshots and discovered his parents' bodies. His father had shot his mother and then killed himself. Aiken wrote about it in his autobiography and his own attempt at suicide, and his affairs and also his many literary friendships, including a lifelong friendship with T.S. Eliot. They bonded over literature, but also drinking and Crazy Cat comics. 1850, on this day, on Monument Mountain near Stockbridge, Massachusetts, Herman Melville and Nathaniel Hawthorne met. There was a picnic. They had invited friends, and they became friends. For a year and a half, the 2 authors lived about 6 miles apart during the most productive time in their writing lives. Melville was working on Moby Dick, and Hawthorne was working on The Scarlet Letter and The House of the Seven Gables. It's the birthday of Guy de Maupassant, born in Normandy, 1850, one of the great short story writers, an apprentice of Gustave Flaubert. He published his first stories a few weeks before Flaubert's death, and in just 10 years, between 1880 and 1890, he wrote most of the work for which he is remembered today, 5 novels and 300 stories. And it was on this day, 1957, in Philadelphia, an afternoon dance and music show went national, hosted by Dick Clark, American Bandstand. They opened the broadcast with Jerry Lee Lewis's song, Whole Lot of Shaking Going On. The show aired 5 days a week. Within 6 months, more than 20 million people were regular viewers. The show ran for more than 30 years. Here's a poem for today by Wendell Barry entitled Questionnaire. How much poison are you willing to eat for the success of the free market and global trade? Please name your preferred poisons. For the sake of goodness, how much evil are you willing to do? Fill in the following blanks with the names of your favorite evils and acts of hatred. What sacrifices are you prepared to make for culture and civilization? Please list the monuments, shrines, and works of art you would most willingly destroy. In the name of patriotism and the flag, how much of our beloved land are you willing to desecrate? List in the following spaces the mountains, rivers, towns, farms you could most readily do without. State briefly the ideas, ideals, or hopes, the energy sources, the kinds of security for which you would kill a child. Name, please, the children whom you would be willing to kill. Questionnaire, a poem by Wendell Barry from his collection Leavings. And that's the Writer's Almanac for Monday, August the 5th. Be well, do good work, and keep in touch.